Welcome everybody to the I3E Show. This is Bishop Tyrone Smith, and I am delighted to be with you. We are very excited to be here on Awesome God Radio, and a big shout out to our radio manager, Mr. AJ Antoine. Thank you so much for the opportunity for us to come and to be on this network. Listen, I need everybody get on the phone, call and text everybody you know, and tell them that Bishop Tyrone Smith and the I3E Show is on the air. And for those of you that are viewing the show via Facebook, go ahead and share the show by clicking the share button now. And for those of you that are listening through the Awesome God Radio platform, we thank you for tuning in tonight. Listen, let's go ahead. I want to go ahead and get started. I want everybody to get familiar with how we do our show. And the first thing I want to introduce to you is our 10-minute segment where we get an opportunity to just kind of loosen up and let's listen to a little R&B gospel soul mix with my DJ Silent Professor. And let me know where you're listening and where you're viewing the show. And you can do that by just going right down at the bottom, and you can share and tell me where you're listening in at, because we want to know where you're listening in. And for those of you that are listening through Awesome God Radio, I want you to call in. The call-in number is 877-479-4473. Again, that number is 877-479-4473. One more time, that's 877-479-4473. And I want everybody to call in. I want to know where you're going to be listening in. We're going to be on Monday, Wednesdays, and we're going to work out a Saturday where we're going to be able to come back to you on Saturday as well. So that way we can be with you. Shout out to Upper Marlboro in the house. Thank you so much, Lamont, for chiming in. My man, Reginald Gant. Y'all going to hear more from him and some things that we're going to be doing later on. Randallstown is in the house. My spiritual son up in Ohio. Thank you so much, son, for joining in. Minister Telly Timpson, he's getting ready to be an elder real soon, and looking forward to being able to do that upon his life. And my daughter here, right here in Baltimore, Sharetta Hearn, thank you so much for joining in. Listen, I want to hear from you. Tell me where you're listening in at. I want to get everything situated. I got my, there's some technical things that are going on behind the scene, and they are getting themselves ready. Is my DJ ready? He's ready to go. Listen, I want everybody to enjoy this next 10 minutes while we just get familiar with one another and know where everybody's chiming in. I want you to take a listen to my DJ Silent Professor.
DJ Silent Professor.
If you don't like me now, and I'm not all I can be, how you gonna like me when he's through with me? If you don't like me now, and I'm not all I can be, how you gonna like me when he's through with me? Here's a little something for each and every one of you haters. Why you tripping on me? See, I can't help it if I'm flossing and shining in favor. Every time I turn around, you try to bring me down, and I just gotta know right now, is it 'cause I get a new house and a new car, new job, and I'm trying to get far, and I'm just walking in what's for me. If you don't like me now, and I'm not all I can be, how you gonna like me when he's through with me? If you don't like me now, and I'm not all I can be, how you gonna like me when he's through with me? You need to take a look at yourself. And everything that I had, you can have the same thing too. Every time I turn around, you try to bring me down, and I just gotta know right now, is it 'cause I get a new house and a new car?
You're listening to the sound of my DJ Silent Professor. Listen, I want to know where you're calling in from. I want to know where you're chiming in from. I want to thank God for my spiritual daughter, Rashida, up in Ohio. Thank you so much for joining in. My brother, still out there working, delivering packages for all the people in the Baltimore vicinity for FedEx. I appreciate you, Sean, out there. Thank you for chiming in. Nzinga, thank you so much. Thank you for chiming in. She's one of the daughters of the ministry. Amaris, my worship leader from my church, she's chiming in. I appreciate you, daughter. Thank you so much. Listen, I need everybody. I need you chiming in. I need you to share it. I need you to talk to me. And I want you to just sit back and enjoy this groove with my DJ Silent Professor. You're listening to the sound of my DJ Silent Professor, spinning on the ones and twos. You're listening to Diedrich Haddon and Glory. Come on and rock with us and lift your hands and praise him while we're going into this moment together. Come on, everybody. Nobody gets the glory but him. He's getting all the glory while we're jamming on this line. Listen, I need everybody sharing. I need everybody texting and sharing it with everybody. I appreciate everybody chiming in. Shakira, thank you so much with listening with your mom. Elder Brooks, Sharon Brooks, appreciate you. Thank you so much for chiming in. Listen, I need you sharing. I need you sharing it with everybody. Let's enjoy these next few minutes together, and then I'm gonna come back on the line and we're gonna talk some community matters, and we're gonna do some church chatter, and then we're gonna do what's called the three-way view. You're listening to the sounds of my DJ Silent Professor.
What a person will do in the name of love, like travel for miles just to feed the poor in the name of love, or give themselves unselfishly in the name of love. Now these are the type of things that Christ did for us in the name of love. So God looked beyond all my faults and sent his son to save me. Yeah. Loving me as a love, just as I was, gave his life just to save me. Just to save me. Blows my mind every time I think that he gave up glory to redeem my soul. Every one of my bones to save me. I'm so glad he did, loving me as I was. Just as I sacrificed his life just to save me. Just to save me.
I made the heavens farther than the eye can see. Placed the stars in the sky.
DJ Silent Professor.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the hour you've been waiting for. Intuitive, innovative, inspirational to empower. It's the I3E Show with Bishop Tyrone Smith. Community matters, church chatter, breaking news, and the three-way view. It's the I3E Show with Bishop Tyrone Smith. My world, your world, our world. The I3E Show. Call your friends. Text your family. It's the hour to empower. It's the I3E Show.
I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. This is Bishop Tyrone Smith, and you're listening to the I3E Show. I want to come to you and talk to you about some community matters here in Baltimore. Baltimore City Police are investigating two men who were shot and killed in separate areas of the city of Baltimore right here in Baltimore on today. This all happened today, Monday. At 10:25 a.m., the Southwest District officers were called to the 3000 block of Belmont Avenue for reports of shooting. On scene, officers found a man with gunshot wounds to the head and torso, and unfortunately, family, he was pronounced dead on the scene. And then 3 hours later, unfortunately, at 1:18 in the Northwest District, officers responded to a shooting on Oakley Avenue near Queensberry Avenue. Their officers found a man who had been shot in the face multiple times. Medics pronounced the victim dead on the scene as well for that one. Police have not released the identities of the victims or any suspects at this time. The homicide detectives are asking if anybody knows anything about these shootings. Please call 410-396-2012. You can also submit any anonymous tips of any kind by just going and dialing 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. Well, family, it's Breast Cancer Aware Month. It's Breast Cancer Aware Month, and just want to acknowledge all of those who are winning and surviving from breast cancer. All of you ladies that are surviving and winning from breast cancer. Please get your mammograms as scheduled. Early detection can save your life. Some signs you need to be aware of as symptoms are swelling of or parts of the breast, even if there's no distinctive lump is felt, skin irritation or dimples, sometimes looking like an orange peel. If the breast or the nipple is pain or is in pain, nipple retraction or is turning inward, those are signs as well. Redness, scaliness, and thickening of the nipple or breast skin. And then if there's a discharge from the breast other than milk, these are all signs. These are all signs that there could be something wrong with your breast. Ladies, please I'm admonishing you to please go. If any of those things are happening to you right now, please go and get checked out immediately. If you need to go to urgent care, please do so. If you need to go to ER, do so, or schedule an appointment with your family practitioner. But whatever you do, make sure you go get checked out immediately. All right. October is also Clergy Appreciation Month, and I just want to say to all of my colleagues all around this country, so many of you that I have the opportunity of serving in the body of Christ together, I just want to say to you that we appreciate you. We appreciate the work that you do. We appreciate the labor that you do. And I want to say with a great sincerity that, as we all know, that there have been many people who unfortunately have committed suicide because of this assignment. Listen, I need everybody. If you are the parishioner of a church, if you are the faculty of a church, if you are the ministerial staff, the presbytery of a church, listen, I need you to go to your man or woman of God this month. If you don't do it no other month, this month, I need you to intentfully make sure that you are celebrating your man and woman of God. I need you to do that. This work is not easy. We give of ourselves, we give of our family, we give of our time, we give of our money, we give of our energy, and a lot of times we feel unappreciated. This is sometimes one of the hardest jobs to do. And so this month has been dedicated as a Clergy Appreciation Month. And so every show we'll be honoring and celebrating pastors all across the country for their continued commitment to ministry and the shepherding of God's people. And I want to just take this moment today, and I want to honor these three leaders. First and foremost, to my apostolic father, Bishop Joseph Anthony McCargo Sr. He's the senior pastor and the founder of the City of Hope International Worship Center, 9033 Red Branch Road in Columbia, Maryland, 21045. Sunday morning worship services are at 9 a.m. and the first Sunday evening worship is at 5 p.m. and then Wednesday Bible study at 7 p.m. Bishop, I just want to say I appreciate you and all the things that you have given me over the years and the impartations that you have given me, because it has served me very well in this season of my life. And I just want to say I thank you to my apostolic father, Bishop Joseph McCargo. Want to celebrate my sister. She's out of the country right now, and she may or may not be able to chime in, but I know a lot of her members are going to be chiming in. She just recently celebrated coming into the office of the bishop. Want to honor Bishop Stephanie Stratford. She is the senior pastor and the founder of Ecclesia Family Life and Worship Center, 4207th Street in Brentwood, Maryland, 20722. The Sunday worship services are at 9 o'clock. And Thursday Bible study is at 7:30 p.m. Then they have a youth encounter every Thursday, third Friday, every third. Celebrate you. She's in Africa right now doing the work of the bishop, along with Apostle Tanya Mitchell. She had joined her, and along with those others that are there, just praying country and praying that the ministry would go well and that you'll touch lives while you're there and get back here safely, because you've got family and friends that love you. Want to celebrate my brother. I couldn't do it the first show, and certainly celebrating pastors, I would not go a step further without celebrating this man and this woman. They're my brothers and sisters, and I'm proud to be their big brother, Pastor Antoine and Pastor Shelley Burden. They pastor Changing Lives Ministries of Baltimore, 3808 West Forest Park Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21216. Sunday morning worship service, 9 a.m. Tuesday night Bible study at 7 p.m. I promise you, any of those ministries, if you attend their services, I promise you, you will certainly be blessed by their ministries. Listen, the I3E Show is sponsored by the Love Center. I want you to join us at the Morrell Park Community Center Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock, and you can certainly visit our church site at www.tlcmd.org. The Love Center is truly a church where love is in the center. And if we could try to see if we can get some of the ads up. We've been really working and making sure, great. Want to make sure that everything is going well. I certainly appreciate all the technicians and everybody working behind the scene. Also, this show is sponsored by PGEE Graphic Design. If you're looking for quality graphic work such as flyers, banners, logos, church seals, business cards, websites, audio and video design and production, call PGEE Graphic Design at 410-793-7238. And you can drop your information below if you're watching by Facebook Live, and a representative will contact you within 24 hours to satisfy all of your graphic needs. PGEE Graphic Design, they design with you in mind. All right, let's talk. I want to do a three-way view here. And again, the call-in number is 877-479-4473. Again, the call-in number is 877-479-4473. I want to do a three-way view, and certainly right now I can attest that the hot topic right now is Mr. Brett Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford and the hearings that we've been watching. And I took some information. I want to share this with you, and then I want to kind of get your feel about this. And I'm going to be pulling some of the information from the Facebook Live. For those of you that are watching by Facebook Live, I want you to be able to see it. Also, right before I go there, listen, my sister, I need to celebrate her right before I do this three-way view. My sister, Tia Blue. She's going to be doing a book signing. She's going to be doing a book signing. If y'all can pull that back up again, I want everybody to see that while I'm talking about it. See if I can. I want to pull that back up so I can see it. But Tia Blue she's doing a book signing coming up real soon here. Actually, it's this week. It's October the 4th. It's October the 4th. It's the Morgan State University pre-homecoming. She's going to be doing a book signing for her book, Kept. And I want everybody that can, I want you to go out and support her this Thursday, October the 4th, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And her special guest is going to be her daughter, and then she's like a daughter to me, Kat Reeves. She's going to be there. Just a beautiful, soulful sound. And joining her is going to be Divine Logic, the saxophonist. Listen, I want everybody that can, I want you to join her over at the Fire and Smoke Cigar Parlor. It's 6827A Lock Raven Boulevard, Towson, Maryland. That's 6827 Lock Raven Boulevard, Towson, Maryland, for the Morgan State University pre-homecoming book signing and cigar event. Tia, love you, girl. Do your thing. Listen, let's get back to this Brett Kavanaugh and this Christine Blasey Ford thing. I want to read something to you that I got from CBS, and then I want to get your view about this. Americans are divided and somewhat more opposed to Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination than in favor of it after hearing Thursday from both Kavanaugh and the woman who has accused him of sexual assault, Christine Blasey Ford. But strong partisanship increasingly defines the public's view. Republicans have grown more in favor of his confirmation compared to last week, and nearly half say they'd be angry if Kavanaugh isn't eventually confirmed. Democrats are increasingly opposed after hearing the hearings, with nearly half expressing anger at the idea of Kavanaugh eventually being seated on the court. Today, 37% of Americans do not think the Senate should confirm up from 30% opposed last week. And 35% think the Senate should confirm, up from 32% last week. As partisan sentiments have hardened, Democratic opposition has gone from 60% to 68%, and Republican support has gone from 69% to 75%. Independents are more closely divided and slightly more in favor of confirmation than opposed. Partisanship appears much more closely connected to overall views than does gender. Among Republican women, 70% feel Kavanaugh should be confirmed, while 80% of Republican men do. Among Democratic women, 65% oppose it, and 73% of Democratic men oppose. Overall, 41% of men feel Kavanaugh should be confirmed, and 29% of women nationwide do, with relatively more women saying it is still too soon to say. Listen, this has certainly really kind of opened up a serious dialogue. And you're right. One of my listeners is saying those numbers are scary. They are scary, because on the flip side of this, I also want to make this clear that Bill Cosby was just sentenced to 3 to 10 years for sexual assault. And here we are looking at a position that is a lifetime position. And we are divided, basically looking at remotely the exact same thing, but yet we have divided lines. What are we saying? What are we saying? What does this say to us? What's really going on? How do we feel about this? How do you feel about it? How does the church feel about this nomination? What are we saying? What are we feeling? And as I'm saying this, I also want to say this. We are preparing for voting here in Maryland very soon. I need everyone that can, who has the ability to get to the poll. I need you voting. We can no longer sit by and just have conversations and think that our conversations alone are going to make the difference. At this point, we need to utilize our voices in the polls and every media outlet and every church and every place that our voices can be heard, to make sure that whatever directions that are within the sphere of our influence to make change, we need to be able to do that. Are y'all hearing me? We've got to do that. We cannot just sit back and just have a bunch of conversations. Conversations alone are not going to change anything. And so I'm looking at some of the commentary that I'm getting on my Facebook Live, and Angel, who is a precious friend to me, said this is bigger than left or right side of the aisle. I agree. I absolutely agree. This is much bigger, much bigger, and we need to treat it as such. This isn't about politics, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're talking about the moral ethics of how we're looking at the way men are treating women, and how certain things have been brushed off or looked over. She also says the system is not moving without the U.S. being in the places, schools, churches, community events. And again, I agree. These things are things that we need to really take a look at earnestly. And I need to hear the voice of some women. I need to hear what are women? How do you feel about this whole Brett Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford? What is your conviction? And I just want to say that your viewpoints are not the views of the radio station and may not necessarily be my views, but I just want you to know that on my show, on the I3E Show, your voice does matter. And I want to hear from where you stand. I want to hear from the women. Tell me how you feel. And let me also say this. How would you feel if that was your daughter that we were talking about? How would you feel? What would you say? Does it matter that it was so many years ago and now we're looking to this appointment? Does it matter? How does it affect you? What's going through your mind? I just want to hear how you feel about it. There is. She also said there's a lack of morality, and it is a lack of morality, substantially. And I believe that in order for us to have these individuals to maintain these offices, I think at least we're not asking you to be perfect at all, because no man is perfect. But what we are saying is that you do need to have a moral stand and accept the fact if you have done something wrong. I would have preferred that if that were the case, to at least apologize. But I guess if he apologizes, then he openly, by apology, admits that he did it, and then he would lose the seat. But can I pose this question? Is the seat more important than your integrity? Are y'all, because that's where the bottom line is. And I would even pose that question to many of my leaders that are occupying the seat of ministry. Is your credibility worth you not apologizing when you've done something wrong? Or should we stand up and admit when we're wrong so that the tentacles of the faith can be appreciated by the presbytery and the parishioners of the church? Because at some point, we're going to have to take ownership for the things that we've done wrong. And God knows I'm not trying to turn my show into a moment of preaching, but I'm just trying to make it clear that some of the issues that we are dealing with systemically are based from a lack of moral stand and ethics. And we need to really take a look at it. So I want to hear from some women. Tell me what you're thinking. I want to know what's on your heart. Does it matter? What's the sentiment? What's the sentiment of the women? What are you saying? What's your feeling? Because certainly I know if it does not affect anybody, it's going to affect women. And as I'm saying this, I'll even throw this in. How did you feel when Bill Cosby was convicted? How did you feel? And how did you feel when the judge said that he was considered to be a violent predator? And he was, they would not give him an offering of probation because they viewed him as a violent sexual predator. What are we saying? How did you feel? What did it do to you? Is he really a violent sexual predator, or is he just guilty of making a mistake? All right, here's we have a call. Okay. Listen, I want to read this to you. Desiree Godbolt, God bless you. Miss Ford caused me to reminisce of my childhood rape. Also the fear of telling my parents. Kavanaugh, as our president, sexual sins are appearing above the law. Wow. That says a lot. And that's coming from a woman. And that's also coming from a woman who's in ministry. She's saying it just appears as if the sins of those in politics seemingly are above the law. Or in essence, it's okay for you to enforce the law on everybody else, but then you yourself be absent from being guilty of the law. While you're thinking about it, I want to celebrate this man of God in the relaunching of his church. Shout out to Dr. Fabian Tucker and In His Presence Ministries International. He's restarted his ministry out there in Clinton, Maryland, and I want everybody to join him. He's fellowshipping at the City Sanctuary, 6312. 6312. I got to pull that back up. That's 6312 Clinton Way out in Clinton, Maryland. Dr. Tucker, that's my brother and my friend. And I'm going to be out there November the 1st, I believe. We're going to be out there, and we're going to go out there and celebrate with him and his ministry. And there's some other breaking news that's going to be happening with him next year, and we're going to hold tight and share that with you probably at the beginning of the year. So y'all make sure you get out there and celebrate this man of God, Dr. Fabian Tucker. He's already restarted. The church's services have already started, and church services are at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. So I want you to get out there and celebrate with him. All of you that are in that Clinton area, I want you to get out there and celebrate with him. And then, wait a minute. We're getting some other commentary here. I want to make sure I read this commentary to you. My sister Rainey, this is what she said. It doesn't matter. It happened a long time ago. Victims are afraid to speak up for multiple reasons. The fear of backlash, retaliation, and fear or she was actually saying a fear of not being believed. And that's some of the issues that women are facing, because and I think men just need to be honest in this moment. Unfortunately, even though we're in 2018 and this is still very much a progressed age, I think it's still safe to say that this world is still dominated by men. And in the dominance of it, women oftentimes don't get the opportunity and the equality that's due them. I think we're still very much in the system of corporate America. Women who are doing the exact same jobs as men are paid significantly less than men. But why is that? What is the reasoning? What is the rationale behind that? And in the parallel thought of that, while Ms. Blasey Ford was testifying to the Judiciary Committee, why were there so many men? Why couldn't they reach a point where there were as equal amount of women that were there as men? Why were there all men? What is that about? What does that say? Does it really speak well of our judicial system? Does it speak well of Congress? And does it speak well to the principle by which we're trying to get some type of resolve? Because the real truth is, ladies and gentlemen, although we're dealing with this seat in the judicial system, the real issue is moral. This isn't about the seat. This is about moral ethics of men doing things and women not having a voice to be able to express themselves when things have happened. And I just want to say, as a man, I am an advocate for women. And those of you women who know me, especially in ministry, I have very aggressively over these last few years, I have aggressively been talking about this systemic issue of women in ministry and how we have hoarded over women and not given them a voice at the table. But the truth is, the day is over that we just sit on women and think that they no longer have a voice to the conversation of God and the church. And I also believe that in corporate America, and I believe it in politics. And I just think that there's a day that's coming where women will have an equal voice and not have to fight for a voice. And I need somebody to just shout hallelujah right there. Listen, want to also, as I'm looking at some of these other comments, and then Elder Desiree, she also said there's a statement made that boys will be boys. And I know we've heard that statement many times, and we know what that means. But what it really means, the undertone of that statement means that men get a pass just because they're boys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just think that that's not the right approach when we're dealing with corporate America and dealing with ministry and dealing with business. I don't think that's the way that we should handle it. I don't think men should get a pass just because it's just a thing that we've just done over time. I think we need to change the way that we are handling affairs. And even the more when we look at church, I think we need to change the way that we are handling certain cases and things that have happened by men. Because here's what I'm going to say. And this is, I need y'all to hold tight when I make this statement. When I look at the number of situations that have happened with men being caught in affairs and things that have taken place, I would love to pose this question. If women were caught in as many sexual affairs and things in ministry, would women get the same pass as men do in ministry? I would love to hear some men and some women chime in on that, because I can tell you what I feel about it, and I think all of us really know how it would really happen. We barely give women a voice, so certainly it would be very difficult for a woman who would be caught in the same sexual affairs and sins to receive the type of punishments or the lack thereof that men have received in ministry. So these are just some of the things that I want to hear. I want to hear your voice, and they're chiming in. Women are saying no, no, no. They would not. They wouldn't. They would be scorned because of the things that they do. And well, I'm only reading what somebody posted. This is not me talking. I'm only reading what she posted. Women are called hoes and men are just called boys. Now we know it's right. We know it's right. We know it's right. But the reality is that the way it should be? Is that the way it should be? And at what point do we now take control of our actions? And here's what I'm going to say to that. Change starts when you start controlling how you handle yourself. That's where it begins. You cannot police nobody else until you learn how to police your own self. When you learn how to police yourself, that's how the world is going to change. I want to also take this brief moment, and I've coming up, and I'm going to be with Apostle Melvin and Lady Sandra Dickens up at Next Level Fellowship up in York, Pennsylvania. And that's 155 Street up in York, Pennsylvania. I'm going to be up there this coming up very soon. And there's going to be, you're going to see some of the ads that are going to be showing. Please take advantage of whenever the opportunity happens. I'm going to be moving around quite a bit. All throughout the year, I've been pretty mundane, just kind of focusing on the local ministry. But now I'm ready to really get out and really touch some of the other ministries. I'm going to be there Sunday, October the 21st at 11 o'clock a.m. I'm going to be there October the 21st at 11 a.m. And then I'm going to be down in Manassas, Virginia with my brother and my sister, Apostle Gregory and Prophetess Carol Simpson. Kingdom of Deliverance Ministries, 10318 Battleview Parkway in Manassas, Virginia. Now listen, I want you to remember the name Apostle Gregory and Prophetess Carol Simpson, because there's going to be some things that I'm going to be sharing in the days to come. I'm going to be working with them and collaborating with them on something very, very large. And I want to keep you all posted on that. Also, I'm going to be with Pastor Roderick and Cheryl Godbolt, Refreshing Spring Ministries, 204 North Mount Street, Baltimore, Maryland. I'm going to be there November the 4th, sharing the word of the Lord with them. Listen, I'm going to be moving and doing some things over these next 30 days, and wherever the opportunity affords itself, we'd love to be able to see you. So please take advantage of wherever the opportunity is that we're going to be sharing and imparting. I would love to be able to see you. And while I'm thinking about impartation and talking to all these people, I want to just shout out my sweetheart, Lady Savannah. That's my girl. She's listening in, and along with my sons, Jalen and Destin, and my son Dominic, who's up at Kent State University. That's my family, and they are the reason why I do what I do. And you know my wife, you know that I'm in love on purpose. And so I just want to shout out my girl and appreciate supporting me and loving me and giving me an opportunity to learn. I said to her some time ago, I said, I appreciate the early years of our marriage, because the early years of my marriage was just an opportunity for me to really just learn and grow up. And I appreciate her just allowing me to practice until I got myself together. And so now I'm at a different place, and she's giving me the opportunity to do all of these wonderful things. Certainly, there's no greater impartation than to be at my church Sunday morning at 10 o'clock at the Love Center. We are actually fellowshipping at the Morrell Park Community Center, 2400 Washington Boulevard. And so we were one time we were at the Hampton Inn over in Woodlawn, and we've moved from there to the Morrell Park Community Center. And then God is opening up some doors right now. We'll keep you abreast of those doors opening and as time goes on. So we've got about 5 more minutes left in the show, and this is what wonderful. So Desiree Godball is the overseer of Pastor Roderick. God bless you. I appreciate you giving me your insight during the show. I'm going to read these last few comments here, and then I'm going to give my final view. My sister Rainey says she was agreeing with Overseer Desiree. It is very much a double standard in a lot of this. And I think there's been so many double standards, ladies and gentlemen, that now it's just become very hard to really appreciate a lot of these things that we are seeing on the news and in the media. And so my last few minutes, this is what I'd like to say. At some point, ladies and gentlemen, in order for us to really make change, we have to at least admit that we're wrong. No change can take place until you admit that you're wrong. And that you can apply that wherever wrong needs to be admitted, whether it's in Congress, whether it's in ministry, whether it's in corporate America. We need to admit that we're wrong. And we need to, from that point, not only admit that we're wrong, but then make a turn and choose not to continue in behavior that we know is wrong. As adults, we should know when we're wrong and want to do right. And I would like to say that it's not wrong just because you get caught. Let me say that again. You're not wrong just because you got caught. It was wrong when you did it, whether or not you got caught or not. And at some point, we're going to have to make change. Because if we don't make change, how do we become better? Better is a place that we should all be striving to get to. No matter where we are, no matter what we do, we've got to be striving to get there at all costs. And so my final word on tonight is, let's make a positive change, and let's be intentful about our change. I've enjoyed this day. This is the first show that we have had the opportunity to be with you, and I'm going to be back here Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Wednesday night, we're going to be back at 8 o'clock, and I'm working out with the radio show manager. We're going to take on another day. I'm going to see if we can come back on Saturday, because I really want to come and be with you. And I know early on they were asking if we were going to take requests for songs, and maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll look at that. I'll give a little bit more time to let my DJ spin and kind of get you grooving. I pray that you all enjoyed it. Listen, this is what I want you to do as we close out. I want you to share, even after the broadcast is over. I want you to share it with as many people as you can, and I would love to hear from you. If you like to just send your viewpoints, even after the show is off the air, you can send your viewpoint to bishoptsmith@hotmail.com. That's bishoptsmith@hotmail.com. And then the subject line, just put the I3E Show comments. Listen, this show is dedicated to you. The I3E, it stands for intuitive, innovative, and inspirational to empower. And I want you to know that our intent is to do just that. We want to be innovative, we want to be intuitive, and we want to be inspirational to empower you to be the best you that you can be. Listen, this is Bishop Tyrone Smith of the I3E Show. I've enjoyed being with you on tonight. Join me back here again, 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. 8 o'clock on Wednesday night, and we're going to be back here sharing with you. God bless you. I look forward to seeing you then. Take care.
You've been listening to the I3E Show with Bishop Tyrone Smith.